Daily devotionals for August 16th. Today's scripture will be Hebrews 4, verses 9 through 11. There remains, therefore, a rest for the people of God. See, we should stop striving. God has a place of rest for us. Okay? I just like to think of myself as kind of like God is like my easy chair, It's just my place where I can just sit back in Him and just relax, feel at ease, just put all my thoughts, my cares, my concerns, put it on Him, just rest in Him. For he who has entered His rest, God's rest, has himself also ceased from his works as God did from His. Okay, when we rest in the Lord, is really trusting, putting our faith in Him. We can sit back, and it's not that we take it easy, but we're trusting Him to do all the things that He has already done. Okay, it's just us walking in that fulfillment of what He has done. I want to look back at Genesis 1, verse 10. Everything that God did, He did in creation. He did it in seed form. The plants, the trees, etc., the grass, everything that He did it in seed form, so He never had to create it again. Even with people, okay, seed, with animals, seed. But I'm going to read Genesis verse 1:11. God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth," and so it was. So everything He did was seed form. Now, Genesis 2, I'll read 1 and 2. Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. Everything was complete after day 6 when He created man. And on the 7th day, God ended His work, which He had done, and He rested on the 7th day from all His work, which He had done. So everything that needed to be done, creation, it was done. It isn't like we've run out of air or gravity, or that we ran out of plants or animals, trees, whatever. It was all, everything was done in seed form, and therefore He never had to, quote, recreate it. Okay? That's why we can definitely say the enemy is a deceiver, and he can't create anything. He tries to replicate things, but he can't create anything. Verse 11, "Let us therefore be diligent to enter that rest, lest anyone fall according to the same example of disobedience." Now He's talking about the children of Israel. They never entered into His rest because they were disobedient. They were hard-hearted. They were stiff-necked. They just rebelled continuously. And no matter how much grace He really gave them in the wilderness, they still rebelled. So we today have the opportunity. Everything is done. We need to just come into His presence, trusting Him, have faith. If He has said it, then it's a done deal, okay? And we need to trust Him. We need to labor with Him, work with Him, and call those things that are not as if they were, because we may not see it, but it has been done. So we need to believe it and receive what God has already done for us. Okay? All right. Till tomorrow, rest in Him.